Spiraling higher into pleasure, power, and prosperity. This is the December energy forecast. Welcome. I am so glad that you're here. If you are new to this space, I am Anne Marie McKenzie, the creatrix of numerology of business, energetic intelligence, and energetic leadership. I'm a soulful business strategist, professional numerologist, and psychic spiritual teachers. And I work with spiritual entrepreneurs and purpose driven businesses to help them scale with soul. Every single month, I tune into the energetics of the collective and share what's happening to better support you in life and in your business. If you are new to this channel, be sure to follow, subscribe, love up on it wherever you are, and comment. Let me know that you're here and let me know if this transmission is resonating with you. So let's dive into it. December is a 3 energy month. We are at that final, I kept hearing final countdown. We are in the final countdown of 2025. I know that this universal 9 energy year has really kicked some people in the ass. There's a lot of shadow work that's involved. And this 3 energy month is this opportunity to spiral higher. So to take all of the lessons that we have really learned from this beautiful 9 energy and integrate it, because 3 energy activates, it amplifies, it's very creative, it's creativity on fire. This is about intentions into manifestation, intentions into manifested form. It is very social and it's a very extroverted energy. I love it. I'm definitely biased. I'm a ruling number 3. The not so great aspects of that 3 are scarcity mindset, worry and anxiety, especially about not enough, and analysis paralysis. It sits in the mental plane. And so it can tend to overthink a lot of things and overanalyze a lot of things. In business, this 3 energy, December is a really great time to strategically plan. And I'm not saying this just because it's the end of a year. I'm saying this because of this 3 energy. This is an opportunity for you to map out those ideas. Everybody in my community, we did the closing out of 2025 at the Scale with Soul retreat in September. It was a 9 energy month in a universal 9 energy year. And it really supported us to see like what needs to go, what we are releasing and shedding, and what doesn't work anymore, those outdated systems, the programming, the beliefs, the thoughts, the feelings. And then the ideas started to come through in October, and definitely in November. Hopefully, you've been able to connect some of those dots, and the divine downloads have been coming through for you to see how you can actually bring this idea into reality. And 3 energy does that. Our thoughts, our feelings, and our action lead to our new reality. And so, strategically plan during this time, map out those ideas. Don't allow it to be just an idea. Incubate it from all sides, from all aspects of your business. And this is also a really great time to get visible. Again, remember that this 3 energy is very social, very extroverted. The nice thing is, this holiday season tends to be that time that we love getting together with people. So do that on a personal level, but do that in your business as well. Get out there, start sharing your ideas, start sharing your programs, your offers, your services, because people are really excited to start something new in 2026, being a universal 1 energy year. They are already thinking of the changes that they want to make, and they're going to be looking for support. So make sure that you're out there actually inviting people into what it is that you have to offer. This is a beautiful month too to look at marketing systems and structures. One of the things that we touch on quite often in the Master Heart Mastermind is burnout and overwhelm. And one of the ways that ends up happening for intuitives and empaths and the healers and the practitioners out there is when we are doing too much that's outside of our comfort zone, or doing too much that's outside of the scope of our work. I don't know about you, but myself as a spiritual entrepreneur, I came here to tune into energetic leadership and to support other people in that. I didn't necessarily sign up because I'm a marketing expert, and I know a lot of you can relate to that, but it's a part of our business and it's extremely important. And so this is a time with that 3 energy to really think about, how do you want to socialize with people? If 3 energy is very extroverted, when you do connect with people, what does that look like? What platforms are you spending time with people on? Or is it in person? I know for many people that I work with, we are shifting into more in-person experiences rather than online because of that screen fatigue that's been happening. So where are the spaces and the places that you like to spend time with your soulmate clients? But also, what is that system and what is that structure? Now, 3 energy is the idea, the expander of ideas, and 4 energy is really what helps us map out and support that. So if you're tuning into this, I highly recommend looking at a 4 energy day in the month of December to really anchor in those foundational pieces of marketing systems and structures. In the month of December as well, in our business, we're really going to want to take some time to do some money mapping and money magic. Now, it's more than just sprinkling some salt or lighting a green candle or reciting money affirmations. I really mean truly mapping out your numbers, looking at how much it is that you are looking to bring in your business. And then reverse engineering that, looking at how many weeks a year that you want to work, how many clients that you want to work with, what are your price points of your offers, and really tune into the realities, tune into that beautiful system and that architecture that you're building in your system and in your business, so that way it aligns with how it is that you want to feel. Again, 3 energy is a manifesting badass. It loves to tune into abundance. 3 energy feels like abundance is our birthright, and there is enough. Even though what's being shown in the matrix is a decrease in the economy. You even listen into some of the podcasts from other entrepreneurs, and they'll saying that, they'll say we're in a recession and people aren't purchasing evergreen anymore, and it's like scarcity and fear. Don't buy into that, because there actually is a lot of money in circulation. There are a lot of people who are still willing to invest in themselves and actually have the money and energy and capacity to invest in themselves. So buy into that. And that's what I mean about the money magic piece, is shifting any, again, old outdated systems, tune into this 9 energy of 2025 still, and let go of those outdated systems. What stories are you telling yourself? Oh, if I increase my prices, my clients won't be able to afford that, won't be able to pay that. Maybe that is true to a certain degree, but perhaps you're meant to be serving a different client. Again, look at things from all different perspectives. Tune into the overthinking, the overanalyzing of the 3 energy, and look at it from all different angles and all different perspectives. Let's go into the spiritual side of the month of December and tune into how this impacts our life as well. So let's remember that the 9 energy from 2025 was arise from the shadows and lead with light. A new dawn is upon us. That was the theme for 2025. So this really taught us to shed our old identities. I loved that the 9 energy was also working with the year of the snake, because it wasn't just a shedding, it was a massive shedding. We are all stepping into a new identity, and that's going to be one of the key themes for 2026 in terms of energetic leadership and shifting from self into service to others, is really looking at our self identity. And that 9 energy and the snake helped us let go, helped us release, helped us to truly see where our shadow work lies and what patterns and cycles we're wanting to be disrupted and changed. Again, we are spiraling higher in December. And so let's continue to tune into that. And again, really look at these old identities and these outdated programming that probably has been with us since we were born. For many of us, could be a couple of decades, could have just been from the last 9 years, because these manifestation cycles go through these 9-year cycles. So looking at the shadow work and taking self-responsibility for what is there, saying yes to it, leaning into it, and then become an embodiment of what it is that you have learned. What this looks like in business. So many people, I'm seeing this very often, that they step into self-help, they go through some personal development, and then they immediately step into the authority of someone who can guide others through this aspect of their healing. And I'm all for a spiritual awakening. I love cheering people on. I want to see it. I want to hear it. And that is one of the funnest things that I do in my business, is when I get these messages, these direct messages, sometimes on Voxer, sometimes on Instagram, sometimes it's friends messaging me saying, Anne-Marie, you're not even going to believe what happened. Actually, you will. That's why I'm reaching out to you. I love spiritual awakenings, but just because we have learned something from ourselves doesn't necessarily mean that we are prepared to be an energetic leader for other people. So if this one energy is calling you to, if you're sensing this as an invitation to try and do something new, make sure you are an embodiment of that first. And you have to start somewhere. I agree. And that looks like hosting circles sometimes, right? Or I remember when I was learning numerology, before I even got certified, I started offering numerology readings, 15, 20 minutes. And I did about 30 of those before I started charging. And then I would do 30-minute readings, and then I would do an hour readings. And I got almost 100 under my belt before I started charging what I do now, which is actually even different. It's going to be different in 2026. But you understand what it is that I'm saying. Like, yes, start, but make sure that you are an embodiment of whatever it is that you are stepping into, because 2026, it will be an initiation. That's the theme for 2026, is an initiation into energetic leadership. And energetic leadership is going to call you out. Everybody's going to see it and feel it and sense it if you are not an embodiment of what it is that you are preaching. So make sure you are practicing that. And that's that horse energy that's coming through. It's the year of the horse. It's an activation into higher heart consciousness, which means that, well, especially in December, we are tuning into much higher frequencies than we have ever been able to before. Actually, this month is a precursor to 2028. We're starting to tune into some of the vibrations and frequencies of 2028. And this month in particular, there's a cranking of that voltage, of that vibration that we're able to tune into. That's why so many of you are really tired. That's why so many of you have been very introverted in a 2 energy month in November, and not necessarily wanting to connect with other people, because we're trying to figure out how to play in this new frequency. Here are some of the key themes that are going to help you through December. The first one is cast the vision, cast the spells. So as we think about this frequency that we're not used to, know that it is a precursor into the future, that it is a foreshadow. Is that the word that I want to say? Into the future. Shadow represents past. It is foresight into the future. And this frequency might not be something that you're quite familiar with, but again, play with it. Learn how to embody this frequency. And we'll talk about how you can do that very, very soon. Okay, think of it this way. Cast the vision, cast the spells. I've spoken about this before. We're thinking of the mirror of Erised. The mirror of Erised, that mirror in Harry Potter. This isn't necessarily a time for reflection, although many people are going to say it's 9 energy month, it's the end of the year, it's time to reflect. My community and myself, we've already reflected. We've done all the reflecting. We've looked back. We're not looking back anymore. We're looking forward. And I'll talk about that again in a second. So we're looking at the mirror of Iris said. I want to make sure I said that right. So this mirror shows Harry his deepest desires. It supports him to see beyond the reflection of what his deepest desires are. We are in the midst of creating this new world paradigm. There's also a new paradigm in business that is being rebirthed. This is a time to, yes, set intentions, December, not January, which I don't normally recommend at this time of year. But again, because of the energetics that we are in, I'm saying yes to this and encouraging you to go all in. This is a time to create the affirmations. And these intentions and these affirmations are rooted in fun and freedom. And I'm not necessarily talking about setting hard goals. The intentions and the affirmations that I speak of are more generalities, but they are rooted in a frequency. In the immersion, we dive into this. It's what are our values? What is our heart compass? How is it that I want to feel? These are the intentions that we are setting, because everything that we are seeking outside of ourselves is actually attached to a feeling, and a feeling is a vibration or a frequency. And again, right now, you are tuning into different vibrations and frequencies that you have never experienced before. So how do I create more of that, especially if it feels really good, especially if it feels expansive? These, again, are the intentions and the affirmation. So it could look something like, I am, you are, we are luminously rooted in abundance. Maybe for me, 2026, luminously rooted in abundance. That's the intention that I'm setting. And that's actually a real example, because that is one of the foundational pieces of my business and the work that I do. Not only is that how I want to feel, but that's how I want my soulmate clients to feel, my family to feel, my community to feel, the world to feel. And that ends up being the compass and the GPS for my soul and my decision making in 2026. Now, I said cast the vision, cast the spells. Why cast the spells? Because 3 energy is extremely communicative. It is very expressive energy. You'll see a lot of public speakers that have 3 energy in their numerology blueprint. You'll see many people in theater or the arts, the writers, very much 3 energy. Now, cast the spells. Spelling is called spelling for a reason, because when we spell and when we speak words out loud, we are casting a spell. Again, thoughts. And when we verbalize those thoughts, when those words are spoken, that is solidifying something in reality, in that quantum field. So this month, yes, cast the vision, cast the spells, but be extremely mindful of your words and how you are saying these affirmations. Here's an example. In the Master Heart Mastermind, one of my clients was getting really clear on her heart compass and her values. And again, we always state this as I am, you are, we are, because it's not just about us. So she stated, I am, you are, we are speaking the truth. It's beautiful. But there's one word that causes division. There's one word that amplifies polarity. And there is one word that creates the exact opposite effect of her other heart compass and values. And that's the word the. The truth indicates that there is only one truth, when reality is there are multiple truths that we are experiencing at any given time. I am, you are, we are speaking our truth is something that is a much higher frequency and supports her to spiral higher, and her community to spiral higher as well. Now, on that note, oh, okay, another theme. So theme number 1 was cast the vision, cast the spells. Theme number 2, don't look back, get over it. I was like, okay, we're being saucy. For those of you who've been in my community for some time, you know that my spiritual support team and I are quite quite saucy. And so if you don't like it, then get over it. But what this message means, you already know what you don't want. What's the point in looking back? If you don't want something, what's the point in looking back and sitting in that? Now, sometimes I'm not asking you to spiritually bypass. I'm not asking you to ignore the shadows and what's being asked to be healed. That's not what we're talking about here. But we're talking about that deep knowing that you have. There are gatherings you went to last year at this time of year, and you walked into the room and you were like, what am I doing here? You don't need to look back and think about that. You know that they weren't your people. You know that you didn't have a good time. There's no point in reflecting on that when you already know. When you get that invitation again, respectfully decline. Again, September was that big month for that shadow work. Hopefully, many of you tuned into that and were able to do it. If not, lean into it, say yes to that. Look at what is asking to be healed. Those are the big feelings that are coming through that don't really make sense. An experience, something happens and you end up reacting instead of responding. That's typically an insight into something that is still needing to be healed. But again, there are many things that you have healed. And I want you to recognize that. That is one thing that in all of my containers, we did a really good job of every single month. We do this in the Numerology of Business Collective. We're going to do it this Wednesday. What are we celebrating? Look at how far you've gone. Respect the work that you've done. So if you know something, truly, deeply know something, I want you to trust in that, which again is going to be one of the themes for 2026 as well, as that self-trust and learning to tune into your intuition, listen to your intuition, strengthen your intuition, and actually believe your intuition. And if you do that, then there's the second invitation to get over it. Again, we're filtering things through our heart this month and not our head, and deciding what's best for you, because what's best for you is what's best for the collective. So again, those old beliefs, those outdated systems, bye. Disrupt those patterns, disrupt the cycles, and consider casting that vision of the future and what you are creating so that we can all spiral higher, you in particular. Now, within the don't look back, get over it, there was overstimulated, overindulgence, overgiving. That came through loud and clear in my meditation. But it wasn't what we think. It was overstimulate yourself, overindulge, and overgive. And I'm like, I do not want to be recommending this at this time of year where everybody already does those things. This is about shifting our perspective in terms of these three words, and particularly at this time of year. Overstimulate yourself with a calm nervous system. Overstimulate yourself by turning off your devices. Sit with yourself quietly. Trust me, you will be overstimulated by that, especially in this 3 energy month. Your head is going to tell you stories that are untrue, or stories of what it is that you are creating, what reality that you're stepping into, what your version of spiraling higher looks like. And this also means more time outside. That 3 energy is connected to the Empress in tarot. And one of my favorite tarot decks, I have it right here by Chris Ann, the Light Seers deck. The Empress in the art piece is a woman who is pregnant, and in her pregnant belly is the earth. It's very earth mother energy. So overstimulate yourself by getting in front of water or going for a walk in the rain or snow, depending on where you're living, or the sunshine. I have some friends in Australia and New Zealand, and I love when I get to talk to them and the messages they send me, because I can hear the ocean waves in the background and I can feel the warmth of the sunshine that they get to experience right now. Regardless of what the weather is like, Get over it and get outside. Overindulge yourself, but not overindulge yourself in the sweets, in the foods that don't make you feel well. That's different for everybody. The alcohol, or necessarily like, too many events with other people. The overindulgence is about rest. Overindulge in rest, overindulge in quality time, overindulge in deep connection. And the overgiving was not about presence, but it was about presence. This was about, again, deeper connection, deeper love, overgiving maybe of our quality time. I know growing up for me, coming from a split family home and having a large family on both sides, it was very hectic, especially on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. There was, shifting from one home to another, shifting from another town, another community, a lot of travel involved. And it felt very rushed. And it didn't feel like there was any quality time. It was just something that we were doing because that's what families do. That's their tradition, ticking things off of a box. Okay, Aunt Susie, she got a present, et cetera, et cetera. And that's not what this holiday season is about. So even if that is what your schedule looks like, even if it is a lot of travel, a lot of different homes, a lot of different groups of people, do yourself a favor and overgive in terms of presence. Be there, listen, ask more questions than you speak. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. The third theme is negotiate neutrality. Negotiate neutrality. I feel that this is a continuation of November's energy in terms of reciprocity and the art of giving and receiving. This, I feel, is coming up for this month in particular because of all of those connections with people, with family. And family is one of our biggest spiritual assignments. Anytime you feel like you've become a master of something, then just simply spend more time with your family. I know in the US, my friends south of the border, that they just had Thanksgiving holidays with their family. And so many of them were tested in terms of their energetic mastery. So negotiate neutrality is about recognizing and understanding that proving a point comes from wounds. And so I want you to ask yourself this month, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? This is one of the most profound questions that anybody's ever asked me. It was in 2012. I know exactly when and where it happened. And my response was, being right makes me happy. And then my second thought was, fuck, that is not the answer to this question. Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Now, along those lines, I do want to really emphasize that I'm not asking you to hold back in terms of speaking your truth. In fact, it's the exact opposite. I'm asking you to speak your truth, but with more love, with more care, with more kindness, with more compassion and more empathy. Again, I'm asking you to listen more than you speak, to ask more questions more than you state facts, to negotiate neutrality with any given situation. For us in the Northern Hemisphere, this is winter. This is a time of stillness, peace, calm, harmony. So anytime a situation arises, I want you to ask yourself, how can I negotiate neutrality in this situation? How can I bring balance back to the force? Sometimes it does look like being Switzerland in an argument. I love a great debate. Again, I'm a ruling number 3. I love having conscious conversations, but there's some times where it actually makes sense energetically, and there's other times where it doesn't. And you can feel that. You can feel when a conversation is actually energetically draining, or you can feel when a conversation is actually lifting and lighting the experience for everybody. The fourth theme for this month, frequency first. So again, spiraling higher. We're thinking about frequency first this month, always. That's what supports us. to respond to situations and people experiences and circumstances rather than reacting to them. Now, many of us are going to be experiencing a frequency that is very new. I said this at the beginning of this because there's a higher voltage that is happening on Earth. This is a good thing. It's supporting us to increase our capacity for more. But this does mean that more rest and more recharging is necessary because we're used to the system, but now our battery is much bigger. That's what it means to have a higher voltage here on Earth. Each of us are granted this beautiful opportunity to have a bigger battery, but we need to figure out what that looks like to recharge it. And at the beginning, it means, extra naps, longer sleeps, more water, higher nutrient dense foods, maybe more vitamins, more supplements, more exercise. Like at first, it might feel like more, but then you'll get into the rhythm and you'll learn how to collapse timelines in terms of being able to tune into that frequency a lot easier. An example of this, instead of getting my 10,000 steps a day by going out and walking and hiking for an hour, hour and a half every single day, I jump on a mini trampoline for 30 minutes. Same results. In fact, sometimes even better results, especially when it comes to inflammation. I want you to think about this in terms of frequency first. Attunement before attainment. Attunement before attainment. Again, 3 energy is very much connected to manifestation. Attunement before attainment. So tuning into, again, that vibration and that frequency of whatever it is that we are seeking outside of ourselves and making choices every single day to send that frequency out, to give that frequency. This frequency first is about giving and receiving. We know how to give, but do you know how to truly receive? Do you know how to truly receive? I focused on this for the entirety of last year. And even just Friday alone, I was gifted a brick of cacao from Peru, a mandala coloring book, a free lunch, a free dinner, with friends, a bouquet of flowers, all in one day. And then the next morning, we stopped by to pick up the post. I was gifted another journal and a gift pack from a dear friend that just had like the perfect gifts for me. Like this card, for example, that says not enough sage, an orange candle. She said, did you know that orange is connected to creativity? I'm like, I did. But what she didn't know is that it's a universal 3 energy month, which is connected to creativity. So just very abundant. And that's because I worked on my ability to receive, increasing my capacity to receive, recognizing that this is what it means to tune into frequency first. It's the divine masculine and the divine feminine. This also means, as we're spiraling higher this month, that our psychic skills are going to go through the roof. I've been saying this for a few months now, and the proof is in the pudding. I'm getting the messages in my home. I'm getting the messages in my DMs, phone calls, voice notes. You're not going to believe that this is happening. My partner, for example, one day woke up and said, I remembered my dream. He never remembers his dreams. He's starting to remember his dreams now. And so I tried to ask him if I could decipher it. He's like, no, I've got this, but that's okay. Phone calls from friends was something that just blew my mind, but absolutely believed it. This friend of mine had found out that somebody she went to high school with needed a kidney, and if he didn't get one, he was going to die. And the percentage of him actually getting a kidney was extremely low. But she went through the process to be able to be a donor for someone else in hopes that he would be the recipient of a kidney donation from somebody else. And lo and behold, unfortunately, somebody passed away, but it ended up being a perfect match for him. And not only was she speaking this out loud, but she felt it in her bones. He is not going to die. I'm not going to let him die. I'm going to be a part of this process. We're going to make sure that he gets this kidney. And that's why I say cast a vision and cast the spell, because it will help you create a reality. And she asked, do you think that that really means I had something to do with it? Yes. Trust in that. Of course it is. It's positive. It's generous. It's giving. It's about having an attitude of gratitude. and being grateful for this kidney that's coming his way before he even did. And so I want you to really, give yourself some space and grace, slow down for your psychic skills to come online. There's going to be more ringing in the ears. There's a difference between ear ringing and tinnitus. Is that what it's called? Tinnitus. That happens all the time. Ringings in the ear will be like a certain time, a blast, either in the right or left. I know my spiritual support team speaks to me on the right when it's about doing and that masculine energy, and it's a yes. And when it's on the left, it has something to do with feminine frequency, and it's typically a no. So just pause when those coincidences happen. We don't believe in coincidences in my community, but there's going to be a quickening still and to come for the next 3 years of synchronicities. We call them omens of alignment and evidence of flow. So pay attention to them. And most important, believe in them. Have the self-belief that you are a psychic and you do have these abilities. And the universe wants you to win. And so the universe will give you signs to let you know whether you're in alignment or out of alignment, whether you're tuning into a frequency that's going to support you to spiral higher or not. And I said it once, but I'll say it again. 'Tis the season to have an attitude of gratitude. Attitude of gratitude. Okay, so those themes. Cast the vision and cast the spells. Don't look back. Get over it. Negotiate neutrality and frequency first to spiral higher. Maybe the fifth one was have an attitude of gratitude. Some of the key dates to be mindful of in December from a numerology perspective. December 1st, today. It's a 4 energy day and 4 of diamonds. We have a little 4 energy portal, which is a really great time to set some energetic foundations, to create the energetic architecture of this month. I had to burp. There was a release there that needed to happen. Okay, fine. There's more releasing and more letting go to be had. So December 1st, 4 energy today, 4 of diamonds in a 3 energy month. But there's actually this beautiful portal from today until the full moon, December 4th. Tomorrow, December 2nd, we have 3 of diamonds in a 3 energy day. So that's going to amplify this 3 energy that we've been talking about. On the 3rd, we have a 2 of diamonds day. So that's when we start to connect the resources to our ideas. And that full moon on December 4th is an ace of diamonds energy. So that is about forging new paths to prosperity in your business. That ace of diamonds as well is about cultivating higher levels of self-worth for ourselves. So think of it as this opportunity to forge a new path, to start something new, to experiment with casting a vision into the future and possibly casting some of those spells, but connect it to our own personal energetic leadership, which is our own self-worth, believing in ourselves. December 15th is a very creative day. This is when I would tune into some soulful strategic planning or looking at those marketing systems and structures. December 15th is 3 of clubs in a 3 energy month, and it's a 9 energy day in a universal 9 energy year. So double threes, double nines, hanging out in the mental realm. Perfect time for overthinking, ideating, creating, again, casting a vision. December 18th is a King of Hearts with a 3 energy day and a 3 energy month. On that day is a really good day to socialize, in my opinion. We're stepping into that higher heart consciousness on that day. So it's also a beautiful day for rituals because the next day, you know what? Now that I'm seeing this, I'm looking at a 4-day portal of rituals. The December 18th, shifting into hearts with a 3-3. December 19th is that new moon. Queen of Hearts, love that energy, totally biased. That's my partner with a 4 energy. He's also a ruling number 4. But claiming that energy within the new moon, that's when we're going to want to set those intentions. So I love that just a couple days before on December 15th is this opportunity to strategize And then within this period of December 18th, 19th, 2021 is a day to like embody it, embrace it, and actually start to move it forward. The 21st being the solstice. It's a 6 energy day and a 3 energy month. And so create some harmony within that day. It's also a 10 of hearts. So it indicates large groups of people gathering. It is the weekend. The 19th is the Friday. The 20th is a Saturday. The 21st is a Sunday. So there's probably a lot of holiday gatherings that are happening on that day. So again, frequency first, negotiate neutrality. Don't look back, get over it. There's going to be people you're spending time with that are going to activate you. They're going to trigger you, especially with your family. But that was the past. This is right here, right now. Let's work at forgiveness, releasing, letting go, that final bit of shedding that's necessary in order for you to tune into the initiation into energetic leadership in 2026. And last but not least, we want to remember that December 25th, that is actually not Jesus Christ's birthday. It was taken over by the Christians. So that way they didn't have to tell the pagans not to celebrate for solstice and the return to light. But it is a 6 of hearts energy day. So it is a great time to spend time with family. The Christians did that on purpose. You know, the Gregorian calendar that they created and these special holidays, it was tuned into numerology. They were tuning into it to use it for manipulation, power, control, not just the Christians, many. I love, love, love. Please don't take offense to that. Because I just don't have the energy to fight about that. And then we have the new year, pretend new year coming around the corner, December 31st, which is a Joker energy. It's very wild and free. And so just have fun, whatever that looks like. I believe that I will be in the woods, in a tent with a stove, a wood stove for sure, and spending time connecting with Mother Nature and connecting with my love. That is it. That is December's energy forecast for this 3 energy month. We are hanging out December 3rd at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the Numerology of Business Collective. We always gather twice a month. This first gathering is going to be a conversation around the energetics that are coming through and an opportunity for us to incubate and ideate how we're going to move into alignment with this in our life and our business. And also take some time to celebrate 311 as I'm saying that, which is my energetic code. We have the Master Heart Mastermind and the Numerology of Business Immersion that is kicking off again in January. If you are interested in those programs, services, offerings, AnneMarieMcKenzie.com, you can go check out that there, or of course, send me a message, comment wherever you're seeing this, send me a personal message or a DM, and we can talk about the best opportunities for you. Thank you again so much for tuning in. Be sure to love up on this wherever you're watching this. My heart, there we go. Love up on this wherever you're watching this. Subscribe, follow, and comment. Let me know what landed for you, what's really resonating, and maybe what you're birthing in the month of December. And remember that I'm kind of a big deal, and so are you. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now.